The lights flicker. Shadows stretch across the cracked concrete walls of an underground studio somewhere in Seoul. A group of women stands in the center of it all, fierce, unapologetic, unshaken. The camera flashes, phones light up, and the air vibrates with energy. They are LESSERAFIM, a name that has transcended the boundaries of K-pop to become a global symbol of defiance, artistry, and fearless self-expression. And this week, their anthem of chaos and empowerment, Crazy, has officially surpassed 200 million streams on Spotify, marking yet another massive milestone in their unstoppable rise in 2025. It's more than just a number. It's a declaration that LESSERAFIM's voice is not only heard, but felt, that the world isn't just listening, it's screaming along. When Crazy first dropped earlier this year, it wasn't just another comeback. It was a statement, bold, raw, and unapologetically wild. The song's pulsing bass line and distorted synths were a sonic revolution, blending electronic rock, hyperpop, and trap into something that didn't quite fit any mold. The lyrics, written like a chaotic manifesto, dared listeners to lose control, to embrace the messiness of passion and imperfection. "If loving myself is crazy, then I'll go insane again," one line goes. It was the perfect reflection of LESSERAFIM's journey, a group constantly breaking expectations, constantly rewriting the rules. Crazy wasn't about perfection. It was about survival. It was about being loud in a world that tells women to be quiet. Fans responded instantly. Within 24 hours of its release, the song exploded across platforms, trending worldwide on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. Dance challenges took over feeds, fan edits flooded the internet, and the track quickly climbed Spotify's global top 50, peaking alongside international pop giants. For LESSERAFIM, this wasn't just viral success, it was vindication. The accompanying visuals for Crazy set the internet ablaze. The concept photos showcased the members in a dimly lit underground space, surrounded by a crowd of onlookers holding up their phones. The energy was electric, gothic yet futuristic, chaotic yet precise. The members' styling told its own story, from leather straps and metallic accessories to fur accents and dark, smoky eyes. Every detail screamed rebellion and confidence. They weren't just performing music, they were performing identity. In an era where K-pop visuals are often polished to perfection, LESSERAFIM's raw aesthetic was a breath of rebellion, proof that imperfection can be art. The photo that now circulates as one of their most iconic images captured exactly that moment. The five of them standing side by side, unbothered by the world's gaze, united in fire and focus. It wasn't just a photo shoot. It was a manifesto of madness, and Crazy was its soundtrack. As Crazy climbed the charts, so did LESSERAFIM's reputation. By mid-2025, the song had accumulated over 200 million streams on Spotify, making it one of the most streamed K-pop girl group songs of the year. But beyond the numbers, something deeper was happening. Western media began calling Crazy a generational anthem of feminine defiance. Music critics compared it to the early experimental pop movements of the 2010s, blending boundary-breaking sound design with razor-sharp performance energy. Rolling Stone described the track as the sound of chaos turned into control. Billboard called it a global fever dream, equal parts rage and radiance. Fans, however, had their own name for it, the song that saved 2025. From Jakarta to Los Angeles, from Paris to Sao Paulo, the song echoed in dance studios, nightclubs, and dorm rooms. Its chorus, wild, explosive, and addictive, became a battle cry for self-liberation. And that's the beauty of Crazy. It's not about losing your mind, it's about finding freedom within it. 2025 has been a monumental year for LESSERAFIM. Coming off their North American tour, the group's performances became viral spectacles of power and emotion. Their stage presence, equal parts athletic precision and unfiltered emotion, reminded fans why they're often called the most fearless performers in K-pop. During one of their US tour stops, fans recall a moment that felt almost cinematic. As the beat of Crazy dropped, the lights cut out, and the crowd, thousands strong, illuminated the arena with their phone flashlights. For nearly a minute, the members stood still, soaking in the raw energy of the crowd. Then, as the bass returned, they erupted into the choreography, sharper, louder, and more defiant than ever. That performance went viral within hours. Clips circulated across social media, with fans captioning it simply, "They are insane." And maybe they were, in the best way possible. LESSERAFIM's rise hasn't been without its struggles. When they first debuted, they faced heavy scrutiny and impossible expectations. The world demanded perfection, but instead they gave honesty, and it paid off. Over time, the group carved out their identity not as idols, but as artists. They transformed vulnerability into performance, and performance into empowerment. Songs like Fearless, Anti-Fragile, and Unforgiven laid the foundation, but Crazy cemented their legend. Critics who once questioned their staying power are now calling them trendsetters. Even industry veterans have praised their creative direction. One producer described them as the blueprint for the next era of K-pop, where chaos becomes beauty. Their influence now stretches beyond music. Fashion houses compete to collaborate with them. Their aesthetics, from streetwear grunge to cyberpunk couture, have become the gold standard for edgy, experimental style. The 200 million streams didn't happen in isolation. It happened because of the fans, the Fearnots, who've built an entire global community around LESSERAFIM's music. One viral post showed a fan graduating college with the caption, "I was told I was crazy for dreaming. Now I'm living it, thanks to LESSERAFIM." For many fans, Crazy became more than music. It became therapy, a reminder that chaos can be empowering, that imperfection is strength, and that self-love sometimes looks a little mad. That's the paradox that LESSERAFIM understands better than anyone else. You can only be truly fearless when you stop trying to be perfect. As Crazy crossed 200 million streams, analysts started calling it one of the defining cultural moments of 2025. Music trends now reflect the Crazy effect, an influx of songs embracing darker aesthetics, unapologetic lyrics, and experimental production. Fashion influencers and stylists point to LESSERAFIM's imagery as a driving force behind the resurgence of grunge femininity, a style that blends softness with rebellion. Even visual artists have drawn inspiration from the Crazy era's moody, industrial atmosphere. In essence, LESSERAFIM didn't just release a hit song, they sparked a movement. Behind the scenes, the making of Crazy was just as intense as the song itself. According to interviews, the members were deeply involved in shaping the concept, lyrics, and choreography. They wanted the track to feel like a storm, unpredictable but powerful. Recording sessions reportedly stretched late into the night, with the group refining every scream, every whisper, every echo. The choreography, a mix of raw body movements and synchronized chaos, was designed to reflect emotional breakdown and breakthrough. Crazy wasn't supposed to be beautiful. It was supposed to be real, and that authenticity became its greatest weapon. With Crazy dominating streaming platforms, the question now is, what's next? Rumors suggest a deluxe re-release later this year, possibly featuring collaborations with Western artists. There's also buzz about a surprise stage performance at a major international awards show, one that could mark another turning point in their global career. Industry insiders hint that LESSERAFIM is preparing a new era, described as even bolder, darker, and more experimental. If Crazy was the sound of chaos, the next chapter might be the sound of evolution. Whatever comes next, one thing is certain: LESSERAFIM is not slowing down. Every era in music history has that one song, the one that defines a generation, captures a feeling, and refuses to fade. For 2025, Crazy might just be that song. It's the anthem of youth, of rebellion, of self-discovery. It's the sound of 5 women standing in the face of pressure, shouting into the void, and turning the echo into art. When you strip away the fame and the numbers, what remains is the raw truth that LESSERAFIM has been singing since day one. Be fearless. Be unapologetic. Be yourself, even if the world calls you crazy. Because sometimes crazy is just another word for free. The lights dim again. The camera pans over the same underground space where it all began. The members of LESSERAFIM stand shoulder to shoulder, fierce, unbroken, unstoppable. The echo of crazy hums faintly in the background. Somewhere across the world, a fan presses play for the 200 millionth and first time. The bass drops. The story continues.